Today is Workers' Day. Public servants reflect on contribution to nation building and better welfare. National Assembly hails Nigerian workers for productivity and selfless service. Plus, Senate is investigating the planned divestments at Lafarge Cement. Good evening and welcome to NTA Parliamentary News. I am Abubakar Galadima. Happy Workers' Day, Nigerians and the rest of the world. Today is Workers' Day, generally referred to as May Day. Nigerian workers celebrate Workers' Day, reflecting on efforts of public servants in nation building and seek better welfare for maximum output towards building a prosperous country.
This administration shall continue to effect positive changes in the lives of average Nigerians to ensure that the downtrodden are elevated and, most importantly, to fight the intense pain of corruption, which has enriched the very few to the detriment of the majority of our citizens who groan under the overwhelming weight of poverty and all superstructural and infrastructural maladies resulting from corruption.
President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, has commended Nigerian workers for their productivity, diligence, commitment to duty, and resilience even in the face of socio-economic challenges. Akpabio, in a statement, acknowledged the hard work and dedication of Nigerian workers, noting that they have always placed the nation above all consideration. Similarly, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, says workers deserve better welfare while commending labor unions for showing understanding with the Tinubu administration despite difficult economic realities on May Day. Speaker Abbas emphasized that the contributions of workers to the growth and development of the country cannot be quantified, pledging that Parliament will continue to recognize workers as partners in progress. The Director General of the National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies, NILS, Professor Abubakar Suleiman, has urged Nigerian workers to use the instrumentality of being the engine room of the nation's development to raise the bar of performance for enhanced service delivery. Professor Suleiman gave the charge on Thursday, May 1st, in a facilitatory message to the public servants on the occasion of the 2025 Workers' Day celebration. He reminded the workers of the significance of celebrating their day on 1st May of every year, which the Director General said goes beyond the symbolic march past as well as chanting and chorusing of Aluta slogan to include engendering new thinking and changing of workers' attitude towards navigating a new direction that will launch the nation on the path of sustainable socio-economic growth. While congratulating the public servants on this year's Workers' Day, Professor Suleiman urged them to key into the ideology of the renewed hope mantra of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for greater Nigeria. Senate is investigating the planned divestments at Lafarge Cement, worth 83.81%, between two foreign investors to ensure that due process is followed. The Senate Committee on Capital Market interacted with key government institutions on their role in acquisition. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports.
We are not trying to undermine foreign investors' interest in Nigeria. That's not what we're doing. We're saying that things have to be done properly. Our interest here should be that 83.81% holding of foreigners in Lafarge. If they want to divest it, there's nobody stopping them from divesting what they have. But what did the memo and article of Lafarge say in terms of transfer of shares?
The subject of inquiry here by the committee is the $1 billion deal between Lafarge Africa, a leading cement manufacturer, and a Chinese company, Huaxin Cement, as the latter prepares to acquire the company. The Capital Markets Committee explained that the planned acquisition is a subject of concern to some local investors.
The Nigerian 16% holders are not comfortable with the proposed sale.
You said it's a transaction between two corporate entities out there. One is transferring shares to the other, and that there is no change in terms of status quo. There is immediately going to be. We don't even know the background, like I said, of the other company out there, the Chinese company. We don't have any. Do you have their profile?
The Securities and Exchange Commission as well as the Bureau for Public Enterprises, made submissions before the committee on the proposal.
For BP, we are very careful in terms of our interaction and the level of interference that we have with private companies that we have divested in, because we're trying to ensure that while trying to attract foreign direct investment as government, that we don't send the wrong message.
This shareholding has never been held by Nigerians. It has been held by foreign companies. And so what this transaction before us is doing is that it's a different international entity that is transferring to another international entity. And our law does not allow us to descend into the arena of who acquires what.
What they do at FCCPC is to look at the antitrust issue, but that transaction is supposed to still come to sake to look at fairness to shareholders, in this case, especially the minority shareholders. And then again, we have clear provision for block divestment or acquisition, as the case may be.
The committee is to engage the management of Lafarge Cement as it also inquires from the Corporate Affairs Commission details of articles of incorporation of the company. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
The federal government drive to attain $1 trillion economic requires collaboration between stakeholders, especially in the mining sector. This was emphasized by the Senate Committee on Solid Minerals while on a visit to the first University of Mining and Geosciences, established to build capacity for optimal results. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports.
The visit to Jos offered the lawmakers an opportunity to hear firsthand the views of key stakeholders. The governor of Plateau State, Caleb Mutfwang, and the Bungum Jos, Jacob Gyang Buba, said they were happy for the honor of hosting the university. They, however, expressed concern over the challenges of illegal mining to local communities.
We're having loss of lives for improper mining procedures. As a matter of fact, we lose more people in the mining pits than in terrorism, but these are not reported. And other vices that came out of it. Not to talk of the devastated mining sites. We have the highest number in Nigeria.
But the purpose that you have come here today and the next few days over the establishment of the University for Mining and Geosciences in Jos, Plateau State. Let me at this juncture express our sincere gratitude.
The committee reassured that the federal government has put mechanism in motion to sanitize the sector as it is crucial to economic diversification.
The University of Mining that we are canvassing in the Senate, the university will give a quantum leap, not just to Plateau State, but to Nigeria. And as a committee, we're working very, very hard to ensure that that project is actualized.
Why do we narrow our capacity to export? So I think that we should learn to go beyond being a retailer to someone who can also export.
The members also went around some tin mining processing factories. Lami Ali, NTA News.
The House of Representatives is urging agencies of government to keep abreast with modern trends in budgeting in order to prepare and implement budgets that will impact on citizens. Chairman House Committee on Legislative Budget and Research, Mohammed Biu, stated this in Abuja at a capacity building training for finance and audit personnel drawn from government agencies across the country. National Assembly correspondent Mitari Ikpen reports.
This training seeks to close knowledge gaps in budgeting and budget processes in government ministries, departments, and agencies. Some of the gaps have been identified by lawmakers in the course of budget defense and oversight visits to agencies. The sessions range from introduction to modern tools and techniques for preparing reliable budgets to discussions on the social implications of poor budget decisions on the masses. The overriding objective is to equip those responsible for budgeting with best practices that will guide their decisions.
It's sad to allocate money for a particular project that will impact positively in the lives of our citizens. Then you see that the money is being diverted to certain things that are insignificant. That is why we have decided that, okay, let us assume most of these people don't know what they are doing. Let us orientate them. Let us give them adequate orientation. Budget is actually data-driven. And that is why that the budget officers must be people who have cognate experiences and ability, knowledge about data analytics and the data mining.
Because a lot of MDAs and organizations has issue with this budget planning and implementation. And it's a very good initiative.
I think I've learned more on transparency on the budget.
We are going to apply the knowledge we've gained now as a tool to producing more efficient and impactful budgets.
Trainers expect that trainees at this capacity building training will be leveraging on insights and expertise gained to improve budgeting and budgetary processes at various ministries, departments and agencies of government going forward. From the National Assembly, Mitaire Ikben, NTA News.
A one-day policy dialogue on electoral reforms in Nigeria has been held in Abuja with key players on electoral matters, calling for closer attention to local government elections, which is always marred by questionable credibility. Mohammed Rabiu Ali reports.
Since the return to democratic rule in 1999, Nigeria has undertaken multiple legal and institutional reforms in improving its electoral process. At the end of every electoral cycle, however, reveals recurring challenges. These include logistics failures, voter apathy, electoral violence, among other impediments.
As we contemplate reforms, we have to apply our minds to how best we can improve the legal framework and how best we can strengthen institutions such as INEC, but including other institutions such as the judiciary and the police, in order to ensure that laws are not only made, but they are appropriately deployed, and those who break them actually suffer the consequences.
Strengthening electoral integrity is not merely a legal or technical exercise. It is a political and moral imperative. We must ensure that our laws and institutions do not just exist on paper, but are able to withstand the pressures of electoral competitions and the manipulations of bad actors.
Papers on addressing electoral disputes, campaign financing and inclusion of disadvantaged groups, and strengthening electoral integrity, leveraging on technology. The engagement has the theme, Strengthening Electoral Integrity in Nigeria, Legislative and Institutional Reforms. In Abuja, Muhammad Rabiu Ali, NTA News.
Towards positioning citizens for a nationwide conversation and securing their support for the special seat bill, the United Nations Women Nigerian Wing and partners converge in Abuja to push for its actualization. National Assembly correspondent Joshua Ogunje reports that the bill will be a major leap in enhancing women's voice and representation in the country's leadership and in legislative space.
The Inter-Parliamentary Union's 2023 database reveals that some African countries have met at least the 30% target of the Beijing Declaration and Platform for Action as far as ranking of countries where the most women in parliament is concerned. Sadly, Nigeria currently with a record of 3% of the seats in the Senate and 3.9% of the seats in the House of Representatives still has a long way to go to have enough women in its parliament.
Further, UN Women will support the convening of 120 town halls across 24 states to give citizens the opportunity to interact with the bill and prepare memoranda to be submitted to the National Assembly Joint Committee on Constitutional Reform during their state-level and zonal public hearings. This will be supported by over 500,000 physical endorsements of the bill in the 24 states.
Introduced in the Ninth Assembly, the Special Seats Bill is providing reforms in 8 sections of the Constitution with targeted 9.3% increase for House of Representatives, 25.3% increase in the Senate, lasting for 16 years or 4 election cycles.
So this bill seeks to amend sections 48, 49 and 91 of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to create 74 seats in the National Assembly and 108 seats in the State's House of Assembly altogether, bring the total number of seats to 182 seats in the legislative arm of government.
So where in a senatorial zone, like where I come from, my own senatorial zone has about 5, 6 seats in the State Assembly. It means that that woman that would contest for that special seat will be spending what it will cost 6 other persons to contest in that same space.
Under the theme Opportunities and Challenges, Options for National and Grassroots Advocacy, the conference discusses strategic actions in strengthening national and grassroots advocacy for the passage of the Special Seats Bill.
Going forward, women representation in the National Assembly is expected to increase by 13.6%, with at least a female representative representing each state, and at the state houses of assembly, 3 seats will be added, with at least 1 representing each central district. From UN House, Abuja, Joshua Okochidi, NT News.
Nigeria supports United Nations humanitarian efforts and other state assemblies engagements. Details of this will come shortly after these messages. Don't go away. Are you looking for a short channel to make your business, goods and services go viral? Look no further, as NTA Parliament is your short channel. Take advantage of our wider reach and advertise your products and services on NTA Parliament DSTV channel 370, GoTV channel 126, StarTimes channel 306, and Free TV channel 706. For more inquiries, contact the marketing department, NTA Parliament, NTA Headquarters Area 11 Garki Abuja, or call these numbers 080-383-40464 or 080-770-78055. NTA Parliament, strengthening Nigeria's democracy. Welcome back and thanks for staying tuned. You are watching NTA Parliamentary News, reaching you from the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. You can as well follow us on the platform showing on your screen for more updates. Scientific evidence shows that there is correlation and bidirectional causal relationship between investment in the quality of human capital development and overall national development, whereas governance at executive and judicial tiers continue to grow by drawing on their rich resources and historical base, as well as strong institutions that have been developed over the years. This assertion was justified during the 2024-2025 convocation ceremony of the National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies in affiliation with the University of Benin. National Assembly correspondent Joshua Ogunjide completes the report.
The 12th matriculation ceremony is unique considering the high figure of enrollment compared to the previous year, as a total of 190 students have been matriculated into different legislative postgraduate programs. The number is the highest in the annals of the institute, with 154 masters and 36 postgraduate diploma matriculants cutting across disciplines such as election and party politics, laws and legislative drafting, parliamentary administration, as well as legislative studies. The Director General of NEEDS, Professor Suleiman Abubakar, asserted that the growth and development of the legislature was truncated in the First, Second and Third Republics, hence the positioning of NEEDS in enhancing the development of the legislature in Nigeria and beyond through capacity building.
With increased funding and timely releases of funds, NEEDS will also continue to strengthen the capacity of legislative and democratic institutions in our country. Through our tailored programs, such as the newly introduced Advanced Executive Education Program, NEEDS will also help to reduce the pressure on the Naira through its executive courses, that rivals those offered by global training institutions, thus helping to reduce pressure on our local currency for international trainings. As such, programs will be held here in Niels.
My dear matriculating students, it's our hope that in the course of your academic journey here, you'll be focused and shun all forms of distractions, and that your research engagement will be worthy of further enumerations and values to the nation, and by extension, to the global community.
As more funds are procured for capital development, NILS gave assurance for the completion of other projects that include 1,000-seat capacity auditorium, while the new intakes were warned against any form of indiscipline.
As a parliamentarian, it's your wish, and desire to see that you explore each and every aspect of life to ensure that you add value to whatever you are doing.
What I do there is practical. What we learn here is theoretical. And of course, my primary responsibility in the National Assembly is bills drafting, legislative drafting, so to say. I'm here to perfect what I'm doing there.
Drafting institution as one of my hobby and ensure that some of the policies are being undertaken.
As a capacity building institution, NILT is saying the Fourth Republic has offered Nigeria the opportunity to invest in the growth and development of the legislature as a fulcrum of democracy. In Abuja, Joshua Oguchi, NT News.
Meanwhile, Nasarawa State House of Assembly is calling on security agencies to urgently beef up security in Apanaja Ekei Development Area, Nasarawa State, to restore normalcy and ensure the safety of residents in the area. Speaker, Nasarawa State House of Assembly, Dalladi Jatau, made the resolution under the matter of urgent public importance, observed by the lawmaker representing Doma South constituency, Musa Abubakar. Adams Abdulkadir completes the report.
Musa Abubakar, a member representing Doma South State constituency, moved a motion on the matters of public urgent importance regarding crisis in Apanaja, a key development area, Nasarawa State. He says the area is experiencing serious unrest, displacing many residents and necessitating immediate government intervention.
The carnage that is oozing from that obscured location is preposterously repugnant. If urgent steps are not taken, it will blow into a full crisis that will be very, very unbearable. Unfortunately, this thing is coming up at a time when farmers have prepared lands to go to farm, and all the people who are predominantly peasant farmers are displaced.
Speaker, Nasarawa State House of Assembly, Danladi Jatau, is urging the security to swim action to arrest the situation before it escalates into a full-blown crisis.
The House is urging His Excellency the Governor of Nasarawa State, Engineer A.A. Sule, the Chief Security Officer of the state, to direct the Commissioner of Police to send his men to beef up security in this area, and without peace, there will be no development. So I want to thank you for bringing up this. So this is the resolution of the House. So thank you very much.
Meanwhile, the lawmakers also screened and confirmed the nominees chairman and members of the Nasarawa State Universal Basic Education Board, as well as chairman and members of the State Local Government Service Commission. They charged them to be alive to their responsibilities, emphasizing the importance of delivering quality education and effective governance in their respective roles. With this confirmation, the nominees are expected to bring their wealth of experiences and dedication to drive development and progress in the state's education sector as well as local government administration.
As a member of Nasarawa State Local Government Service Commission, those that are in favor that you should take a bow and leave, say aye. Those against, saying the ayes have it.
A private-sponsored bill sinking the establishment of the State College of Leadership and Social Development in Toto also scaled first reading.
In Toto and for other matters connected therewith first reading. Thank you.
From the State House of Assembly, Adams Abdulkadir, NTA News.
Similarly, to ensure security of life and property in public schools, Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly has passed a resolution calling on the state government to extend fencing of schools, which was initiated by the immediate past administration to all local government areas. This was sequel to a motion brought before the House on February 1st, 2024 by member representing Etinan State Constituency, Uduak Epo Ufot, on the need to urgently commence fencing of schools in the states. The report.
The motion brought before the House was on the urgent need to commence fencing of secondary schools and provide living quarters for teachers in rural areas of Akwa Ibom State. The motion was extensively deliberated on and was committed to the House Committee on Education to meet with the Chairman, State Secondary Education Board and State Technical School Board for further legislative action. The committee, after meeting with them, observed that the immediate past administration had already started fencing of schools in some local government areas. The chairman, House Committee on Education and member representing Oron Udunwoko State Constituency, Kenem Onofiok, while presenting the committee's report, recommended that the state government should also build staff quarters for teachers in public schools.
It can be observed that in most schools that we have living quarters and the teachers are there, it is easy to control the students there, and the performances and the productivity, the outcome will be it will be excellent.
Some lawmakers also comment.
That's the Committee of Appropriation to watch out once the Ministry of Education comes to defend their budget, to ensure that they will not miss this out in order to drive home our resolution. That House Committee on Appropriation should ensure that the Ministry of Education include this in the budget of 2026. The Committee on Appropriation should ensure compliance. I think what we should do is to mandate those who budget the Ministry of Education, who is in charge of the budget, to mandate them to budget for this particular thing. Because they are asking Committee on Appropriation to ensure compliance. What if in terms of that budget? So I think we should mandate them to budget for this.
With money and build houses for teachers are not living in that environment. Even when people who go and steal properties in that environment. So why are we wasting? It's wasteful, sir. My opinion is I'm against that debate. Number two, building fencing the school, I support that, but the other one is wasteful.
The Speaker of Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly, Udemotong, while commending the committee for a job well done, also directs the clerk of the House to communicate the resolution of the House to the state governor.
Report 31303-2025. Urgent need to commence fencing of secondary school and provide living quarters for teachers in rural areas of Akwa Ibom State, and all amended purposes were adopted in the Committee of the Whole.
Nsikak Okon, NTA News.
This is where we draw the curtain on our news for this evening. For more updates, kindly follow NTA Parliament on platforms scrolling on your screen. Thank you for watching once again. I am Abubakar Galadima. Good evening and happy Workers' Day once again.